This is a WPTV news special, State of Education, the first 30 days.
COVID and the classroom.
It's constantly changing.
It's all about data, reviewing that to make sure the schools are safe.
Challenges and tough decisions in the first 30 days of the new school year.
In order to navigate such a difficult time, you have to do it together.
Thousands of positive cases among students and school staff, even more at home on quarantine orders.
We want to really keep kids on our campuses as much as possible.
And the debate on face masks. Tonight, all 5 local school superintendents sit down together to talk about the return to campus in this COVID surge and keeping your kids safe.
The kids are excited to be there. They want to be there.
There are lots of smiles. There are people that are glad to be back.
Last school year ended with hope that we'd return to normal this fall.
And as this new school year began, COVID cases surged among children.
Now schools are the latest battleground in the fight over masks, quarantines, and how to keep students and staff safe. I'm Kelly Dunn.
And I'm Stephanie Suskind. We've watched parents clash at school board meetings with school and health leaders. The battle brewing between the state and a dozen school districts over mask mandates and the closure of 2 schools on the Treasure Coast because of COVID spread.
As they navigate the new school year, we wanted to hear directly from each superintendent in our 5-county area.
So over the next hour, they share the struggles, the frustrations, the uncertainty, and the hope moving forward. We are just getting into this new school year, and it is not what anyone expected. So we've asked the 5 most influential educational leaders from across our area to join us for a discussion on the first 30 days of the school year. So we're very pleased to have joining us right now Superintendent Mike Burke from Palm Beach County, Superintendent Dr. John Millay from Martin County, Superintendent Ken Kenworthy of Okeechobee County, Superintendent Wayne Gent from St. Lucie County, and Dr. David Moore, Superintendent of Indian River County. We appreciate all 5 of you so much for taking the time to join us. And I want to start with seeing if you can give me just one word to describe this first month of school. And Dr. Moore, we'll start with you.
Determination, just a willingness to address difficult, complex times, but determined to do it together, determined never to give up, to ensure that we here in Indian River County, we're in the best interest of kids all the time.
Okay, I'll go with inspiring. You know, it was really nice to see our kids back on campus. Many of them hadn't been there for 17 months. And the excitement and just the energy in the classrooms between our teachers and kids, you could really tell people were appreciative to be there. And that's the best place for them to be, both academically and social emotionally.
Dr. Millay?
I would say dynamic. It's constantly changing. There's been a lot of positive moments, of course. We've had a great start of the school year, but it's constantly changing. So the dynamic might best describe us right now.
Mr. Kenworthy, how about in Okeechobee County?
Unpredictable. You know, who would have thought we would have been facing what we are right now? But it's been a good year. It's been a challenging year, but we just keep getting those curveballs that we never knew that we were going to experience this year.
Absolutely. And Mr. Gent, how about for St. Lucie County?
They've used all the words. I'll go with resiliency. I think that, as Ken just said, the challenges that we face, and to be able to, folks don't really know that about us in public education, but we can bounce back pretty quick and pivot, as we proved last year. And then this year creates even new challenges, but the resiliency of our staff, of our students, just to come together and to face this head on, and to meet the challenges, and to keep our main focus on teaching and learning.
Our 5 school districts are keeping families and staff informed about confirmed COVID-19 cases through their online dashboards.
Yeah, the tools show data from each school and the number of cases among students and staff. So here's what we found in the first 30 days of this school year. The Palm Beach County School District has already surpassed the total number of COVID cases during all of last year. In the first 4 weeks, there were more than 4,000 cases among students and staff members. That's compared to about 3,800 for all of last school year. However, there's been a drastic increase in students on campuses right now compared to a year ago. In-person enrollment in Palm Beach County now more than 162,000. That's compared to about 54,000 on campus to start last school year.
In Martin County, more than 17,000 students are on campus this school year. In the first 30 days, 446 students and staff tested positive for COVID.
More than 1,000 positive COVID cases were recorded in the first 30 days of the new school year in St. Lucie County. That's out of more than 41,000 students who are on campus.
In Okeechobee County, about 5,500 students are enrolled this year. In the first 30 days, 241 positive cases were recorded.
And in the first 30 days, 2 Indian River County schools were forced to close temporarily because of the impact of COVID-19. Both elementary schools have reopened, and 900 students and 185 staff members have tested positive since school started on August 10th. Let's talk about the biggest challenges that you've faced so far, and even something that may be unique to your district. Mr. Gent, go ahead. It looks like you've got a thought over there.
I think the main challenge, there's several, but what comes to me right now is really learning loss. Our students, we know last year our students, exhibited significant learning loss. Some schools more than others, particularly in the area of mathematics. And I think with the quarantine and the high number of students that are being quarantined without an online really option, I think that learning loss is one of our biggest challenges at St. Lucie.
Well, for us, it's just being able to ensure that we can provide a free and appropriate public education. This pandemic has hit us very, very hard under this new variant, and transitioning the current structures that we had in place to mitigate the impact of COVID in schools, we had to act very, very, very quickly in order to ensure that we can keep our schools open and that inside the classrooms is a free and appropriate public education. It's not something we're done with. Continue to struggle when you look at the volume of quarantines, as was just mentioned. When students are not inside of a classroom with a teacher, there's going to be an impact. So this is a challenging time.
How about in Palm Beach County, Mr. Burke?
I'd agree with my colleagues. I mean, the learning loss, we had a handle on that, right, based on what we experienced the last year and a half. And so we have a plan in place to try to start addressing that over the next 3 years using the federal ESSER funds. But now this challenge with the Delta variant, where we're sending kids home to quarantine because they may have been at risk of exposure, that's the big struggle now. How do you avoid compounding the learning loss? We want to really keep kids on our campuses as much as possible, and navigating the contact tracing and everything that goes on with that is the current challenge.
And how about in Martin County? Your biggest challenge so far?
I think there's a couple things. I think when you talk about the COVID virus, the quarantining has been the challenging part, because you have so many that get quarantined, whether they're staff or students, they do not become positive. So having a lot of working families, single parents that are struggling, we want kids safe, but then they're going to have to work. That's huge. As a parent, I get that. And then I think probably even a higher priority is we've really tried to keep our focus on learning. So making sure we control the narrative that what's going on in our schools is fantastic. We're focused on learning, and we're focused on being positive. There's a lot of noise out there across the country and maybe even in the state, but I like to focus on what we can control, and that's our attitude and positivity. And I just try to make sure we beat that drum every day, that we get that message out, because when you go into our schools, they are positive places, and sometimes you don't always get that vibe out there with public schools and the media. So we appreciate your all's help on that.
Absolutely. And how about in Okeechobee County? What have your challenges been so far?
Well, I echo the quarantines have really been difficult for us. So if a student is missing, a day of classroom instruction, a teacher is not delivering a day of classroom instruction, we fall behind in that scope and sequence. And our scope and sequence is all based upon the standards. So every day is important in teaching a fundamental skill, reaching toward that standard. And anytime you have a student that is absent, quarantined, or that staff member is out, we take a step backward, and we have to find a way in order to close that gap, to go back and catch that kid who was absent from school, but also keep the instruction going and not be repetitive for the kids who are able to be there. So I think that's our biggest challenge, is to keep that instructional momentum given the ebb and flow of the numbers of students that are in and out of that classroom every day.
Certainly makes you appreciate teachers and staff at schools even more. I mean, that one step forward and taking a couple back in this day and time, it's got to be rough.
Absolutely. And you know, you hear them talk about the challenges in their districts, so different in different sizes, but still facing some of the same issues.
Same things with all five, that's true.
Yeah. And we also asked these school leaders to explain something the community may not understand about what's happening inside the schools.
We'll have their answers coming up.
Schools are not incubators. The virus is more often than not is coming in from the community into our schools.
We have to typically make those tough calls on behalf of the health department, but if we could move away from that, we'd love that, but it's not a choice we have.
The toll of COVID-19 in the first 30 days of the school year. I asked our local school leaders to describe a misconception in the community that they want to clear up for students and families. And as you'll hear, a lot of the confusion is centered around quarantines and who is actually responsible for deciding whether your child will stay home from school and for how long. I want to give you that opportunity to address your community and say, hey, you know, you may think something's going this way, but here's what we're really trying to do in our school district. Anything that you would want to address along those lines?
In Martin County, I think, you know, you get a lot of emails, you get a lot of correspondence, and that families really know how much we care, and that our staff care, our principals care, our board members care deeply. They all have families, children, nieces and nephews. Everyone here loves kids, so we get the issues, we get the challenges. Understand, I have a broad, large family, and know many people have single families raising their kids. What a challenge it is. So I just want them to know, the community to know, that our board does listen, they care, and we're going to continue to just stay committed to positively working through this. We're not alone. We're in the state of Florida, we're more like everyone, and the whole country's facing this, but try to stay united. That's our biggest effort.
I think what's important too, I know in St. Lucie County, I think sometimes with some of the noise that's out there, our positivity rate, we've had less than 2% of our students test positive. The main challenge is the quarantines, and that number is in the teens, and at some schools it can be in 20 to 30% range. And I think sometimes parents get confused thinking when a child comes home in a quarantine that, you know, they've been exposed to somebody positive, but that's a small number of kids that are in the school centers, and that the strategies that we're doing, the mitigating that we're doing of the, you know, of washing your hands, of wearing the mask, which is optional, you know, that the schools really are safe. They're really not incubators. You know, we have the kids 6 or 7 hours a day. The rest of that time and on the weekends, we don't have them. I can't control what's going on there, and that our schools are doing everything that we can, and that the quarantines really become the main challenge. And I think that what the parents can do to support us more than anything is when a child has any of the symptoms, you know, influenza-like symptoms with runny nose or coughing, just keep the kids home, because that's our biggest challenge. When they come to school sick and then they do test positive, then that puts others at risk. And I know it's tough for parents as well, because they work and they need to be, you know, doing what they need to do to keep their family stable. But we've got to really focus on keeping kids home when they're not feeling well, and that will do more, I think, than anything else to get this thing over with quicker. If we just don't send our kids to school when they're not feeling well. And we've stressed that with our adults and staff members as well. The same concept. That's what they can do to help us the most. And when they are there, we're taking care of them, we're protecting them, it's a safe place. And our focus then is really their safety first. But then right there, you know, 1B is the teaching and learning, where we've got them in front of us, and to focus on what they do to accelerate that learning and to catch up any losses that they may have experienced last year.
One thing I'd interject to that, I have to say, as parents, a misconception is that we do not quarantine kids in Martin County, the school district. It is the Department of Health. It's overseen by the State Department of Health, the Surgeon General, and there's some miscommunications. While our staff assist and work collaborative with the health department, we do not make that decision to do that, and we have to typically make those tough calls on behalf of the health department, but if we could move away from that, we'd love that, but it's not a choice we have.
And I see you all nodding along with that. Mr. Burke, go ahead and you can expand on that too.
Dr. Millay is absolutely right. We work with the Department of Health. They actually do the quarantining. What we are seeing, though, of the thousands of kids we're sending home, it's less than 2% go on to test positive. So we're, I want to work on trying to reduce those numbers of kids being sent home. And, if there's a way to do more testing or something, just I think right now we're as we're being overly cautious, and, you think about the contact tracing that's involved with following a student through their day. That's why you have these exponential numbers of kids that get sent home for potential contact, but we're not seeing that play out. And as Mr. Gent said, the schools are not incubators. The virus is more often than not is coming in from the community into our schools. So we feel like schools are the best place to be. The kids need to be there. We need to catch up. And that's job one, is trying to just keep them on campus along with a healthy faculty that can serve them.
Absolutely. And I would just share that the best place to educate a child in all of these counties probably is a public school. And although public school may be under attack across the nation, it is a place filled with love. It's filled with dedicated professionals, students who look forward to coming to school. As it was mentioned, no student wants to be quarantined. We as leaders struggle with it, but a great place to educate your child, to allow us to invest in them, is in fact the public schools.
Now, if there's one thing that I would like to share with our parents, the first of all, it's to say thank you for your patience. And on the outside, it may not look like things are going well, but I can tell you that the effort being put into instruction, into monitoring COVID, contact tracing is unparalleled. I mean, it takes a collaborative effort of everyone. Prior to the pandemic, we were focused on, academic instruction, and that was our job. But to have this whole additional layer in there, and what Dr. Burke was talking about in terms of contact tracing, following a kid through his day, if this kid comes back positive, you have to find out, how did he get to school? Who did he sit by every single period that he moved? Who did he, have lunch with? Who did he was he or she in any sort of after school activities? So, drawing a 6-foot circle around that kid all day long and everywhere that he went is difficult. And that's taxing on our staff to try to, identify those individuals. And so we're trying to be surgical and not sweeping. Sometimes the numbers are larger and it appears that we're sweeping, but it's not. It's very surgical. We've had principals go into classrooms with tape measures just to make sure that it is 6 feet. And I'm telling you, if it's 6 feet 1 inch, we are not excluding that kid. So we're trying to get a handle on the quarantines and only exclude the numbers that are actually warranted by the health department. But again, I want to say thank you to our parents and our community for being patient. Once you explain those kinds of things about what you did in an effort to try to not exclude their kid, I think they're appreciative, because they just don't understand everything that went on in trying to determine, okay, who gets to come to school tomorrow and who doesn't.
It can be confusing for the parents, and we recognize that. And we have, you have parents who speak other languages as well. And so it can be a daunting task. We've got on our district webpage a parent hotline, so that the parents can call that number, and it comes right here into the district to a series of phones, and staff will help them if they have questions or concerns, if the child was quarantined or tested positive, and what are the next steps. So we try to walk them through that to do everything we can to assist the parents through this process, because we know it can be daunting, as has been said, and try to just hold their hands and make sure that we get them the correct information, because our goal is to get those children back in school as quickly as possible, whether it's a positive case or a quarantine. And then we want to do all the school centers can answer questions as well. But here at the district, we've got a hotline that we encourage the parents to give us a call, and they do that. So that we can give them some accurate information to help them with the resources, even resources in the community that they can reach out to, because it may not just necessarily be an educational issue. It could be something else that's affecting that family, that we can put them in front of the right person to assist them.
So let's take a look at what the state is calling its decision tree for quarantines.
And again, this comes from the state level, and the local health department makes that determination if your child needs to quarantine, and then they follow the process for when they can return. So let's take a look here. For example, what happens if your child is exposed to COVID-19 and considered a close contact within 6 feet? Now, if you look at the top here, if they are not showing any symptoms, they can return to school with a negative COVID test after at least 4 days of exposure following that exposure, or 7 days as long as they continue to not show any symptoms. Now, if they do have symptoms or they test positive for COVID, you go to that second section of this decision tree, and that will show that they can return to school with a negative test and no symptoms, or after 10 days have passed since the positive test, or symptoms developed and they are fever-free for 24 hours, or they have written permission from a healthcare provider to return to school. Now, the very last section, that's the easy one down at the bottom. It explains what happens if your child is exposed and either had COVID-19 within the past 90 days or is fully vaccinated. As long as they are not showing symptoms, they do not have to quarantine.
Masks in schools, a controversial debate in the first 30 days, I should say. It has pitted parents against school leaders and the state against school districts.
The superintendents share why their policy is best for their district and will explain the latest twist in Florida's fight over mask mandates in schools.
Don't do this, or I and everybody behind me will rip these kids out of your school district.
I don't want my daughter to be wearing a mask in school if she doesn't have to. But at this point, the risk is too great for her to be going to school and not wearing a mask.
Well, the great mask debate, it has really created division all across the area, especially in Palm Beach County, with frustrated parents really flooding every school board meeting.
The district started the school year with an opt-out policy. Masks were required for students, but parents could opt their child out with a simple letter to their child's teacher. But a little more than a week into the school year, with COVID cases and quarantines skyrocketing, the school board made a bold move to directly defy the governor's executive orders and remove that opt-out option. At the time the board made that change, less than 10% of the student body was taking advantage of the ability to opt out. All Palm Beach County students are now required to wear masks inside and on school buses, with only very specific medical exemptions allowed.
You all do have different policies right now when it comes to face masks. So I wanted to give you each an opportunity to kind of just explain why you feel that the policy that's in place in your district is really the one that is best for your district and for your population. So Mr. Burke, we'll start with you. Palm Beach County, certainly the largest school district in our area, one of the largest in the state. So talk to us a little bit about why you feel the policy you all have is right for you.
Yes, well, it was a tough decision, but we looked at the local medical conditions, we looked at the positivity rates, we consulted with our pediatricians. We did have children, or we continue to have children going to the hospital, and we wanted to err on the side of safety and abundance of caution. And we felt like by following the CDC and the American Academy of Pediatricians that supported universal masking, that's what we ultimately decided to do.
Now, Indian River County comes in second for the most restrictive mask policy across our area.
The district also began the school year allowing students to opt out of wearing masks, but the superintendent says they needed to make a change when they saw how the Delta variant was ripping through their schools.
So students in pre-kindergarten through 8th grade are required to wear those masks with some medical exceptions. That policy began on August 30th.
It does not apply to high schools, where Dr. David Moore says the district is not seeing as many cases and mitigation strategies are working well. The school district did, however, have to close 2 elementary schools temporarily because he says they just didn't have the staff to operate them.
Listen, I'm a competitive guy. If we're playing tiddlywinks, I want to win, but I don't want to have the highest number of you look at the community percent positive, and I unfortunately am leading the way on that. So for me, it's following the numbers. I've made a career of interpreting data and being able to learn from it and respond. So we made a pivot about 15 days into the school year to temporarily require masks with a medical opt-out. Not a long-term solution for us, but responding to where we were seeing significant spikes. We ended up having to close 2 schools, meaning we made that move too late. We did not have teachers to cover the classes. The teachers that we sent from the district came down with COVID as well. So made some pivots, required masks for all of our faculty and staff, did that a week before we required it for students for 10 days. So we're seeing some very significant trends going in now, what we consider to be the right direction. But for us, not a long-term solution, but looking at the data, interpreting that data, and making recommendations that is absolutely in the best interest of children based on local conditions.
And St. Lucie Public Schools started the school year making changes on day 1. The evening of the first day of school, the school board voted to require masks for students, but giving parents the ability to opt out if they wish. The next day, the superintendent announced staff members would also be required to wear masks indoors moving forward. Superintendent Wayne Gent says right now their policies are working.
We're adhering to the governor's executive order and to the Department of Health and Department of Education. But what we do, and the majority of our board has supported that, and that has been my recommendation to the board. But we monitor the data daily. We monitor the data by school. We monitor it by classroom to see what the trend is and where that is going. Hopefully, maybe the worst is behind us. We've seen a little bit of a decrease here within the last week, but it's all about data, reviewing that to make sure the schools are safe, make sure they're clean, make sure we're doing what's appropriate in the school centers, and I feel confident in what we're doing, that it is working for us right here in St. Lucie County.
In Martin County schools, the policy has stayed the same since day 1. Masks are optional for students, staff members, and visitors on campus. While the school board can adjust policies if necessary, Superintendent Dr. John Millay says right now it's status quo.
Just like we've heard from some of the others, we've tried to make sure we follow the governor's orders. We're working within the parameters of our local Department of Health. That's been important, and we've made sure we've kept up the majority of our mitigation strategies from last year, even with the mask. I think the topic gets around masks, but the main issue is the excessive number of quarantines that are out there. That's the challenge. We provide 100% of our students and our staff can wear those masks every single day. Martin County Schools provides masks for everyone at the front door that would like to wear one. So we certainly encourage parents to help their children make the best choice for them. But our data we follow, we have up-to-date dashboards as best that we can follow this. We look at each school, we look at the staff, we look at the students, and I know our board members listen to our community, and that's a challenge. They're the local elected leaders, and we're all trying to navigate this together. I think there's one thing we can all agree on. It's a challenge. There's not one answer. Our numbers have stayed consistently with or even lower than some of our neighbors. So it's just a real challenge. And we're going to continue to work through it. And in Martin County, our board and our admin team is committed to trying to stay cohesive and do what's best for our families.
The Okeechobee County School District also has an optional mask policy in place. Superintendent KENWORTHY says he does not plan to change that.
So obviously we're the smallest county on here. We only have about 5,500 kids. And so most of our school, the size of our schools is much smaller. But our health and safety protocols that we've adopted for this year do not include, universal masking or the requirements for mask. And, we've faced the quarantines, and, our parents, thank goodness, have been patient with us in that. But when we've been hearing back from our constituents, the board members have been hearing back from the individuals that they represent, it is not likely that we would move to any sort of required masking of our students at any age. And, that's been working for us. I mean, we have had some exclusions, more than what we would like. but I think it's pretty comparable to what you're seeing in other districts as well across the state of Florida. But it's working for us right now, and I don't see us moving in the direction of requiring masks.
So you really hear the different perspectives on this from the different school districts. And you know, the mask debate, it's not just here in our portion of South Florida, it's across the state, it's across the country.
Absolutely. It's been a tough one for every district to handle, but as they were each explaining, I mean, they're looking at the data for their district.
Exactly.
And making the decisions based on their community.
Right.
Back and forth battle on face masks, as we're saying, in schools, it's playing out in the court system.
Yeah, this has really been going back and forth. It's hard to keep up, but the latest, a Florida appeals court ruled last week that Governor Ron DeSantis' ban on mask mandates is reinstated for now, while the measure moves through the appeals court system.
This most recent decision means schools can be penalized for enforcing mask mandates. Right now, at least a dozen districts across Florida have imposed face mask mandates without a parent's ability to opt out, including Palm Beach and Indian River counties in our area. So far, the state has taken funding equal to 1 month of school board member pay from Broward and Alachua counties, the first 2 counties to put universal mask mandates in place.
Meanwhile, the U.S. Department of Education now investigating whether Florida's ban on mask mandates in schools is violating federal civil rights laws that protect students with disabilities.
The mask debate dominates the headlines, but it does not represent what's happening inside the classroom.
That's right, and what these school leaders say is really happening behind those classroom doors, that's coming up.
With so much uncertainty around the first 30 days of school, there's also been excitement as many more students were back on campus for in-person learning this year.
Yeah, I've heard it from so many teachers and students alike. They're happy to be back together. So I asked our superintendents what they're seeing behind those classroom doors, and here's what they shared. For the community who can't walk into their child's school classroom or other community members, describe what you are seeing inside your schools, inside your classrooms that, you know, that's really keeping you moving forward during this time.
Well, what I see is, I see teachers teaching their heart out. I see instruction continuing to the best of their ability. You know, you walk into a classroom and sometimes you walk into a class and there'll be maybe 5 or 6 students out of 18 sitting in there. But I can tell you that those 5 or 6 students are getting all that teacher has. We see that they may need to change their instruction just a little bit and tailor it to the needs who are the students who are present. You know, by focusing on, you know, what skills those 6 students in the classroom maybe are deficient in. So they probably are looking at their lesson plans and going through to see, okay, how can I make the best use of this day, given that there are students that are absent, and try to address the needs of those kids that are sitting before me. But I can tell you that, you know, as in visiting the schools this year, there are lots of smiles. There are people that are glad to be back. Parents are glad to have their kids back in school. You know, you see student smiles, and I'm glad that our students are engaging more this year, it seems like, than in previous years. So I think they recognize the importance of school, and it's a testament to our parents to want their kids in school, not just because they, you know, have to have some place for them to go to during the day, but they recognize and value the importance of education. And we're hearing from them that, you know, they're impacted by these quarantines, not just from a babysitting standpoint, but they too recognize that, you know, every day of instruction is important. And when you miss that day, then that just sets us back.
I would agree with Ken on so much of that. I think when I go in the classrooms, I think it's important over the years that you don't lose the joy of the start of a new school year. There's so much joy out there just when kids start. And in Martin County, we've adopted K-12, a new English language arts series. So it's been great seeing that focus. I love the teachers having the materials they need, and they're focused on that. So that's been a great thing to see. And a lot of positive energy throughout the school, throughout the schools. I mean, you really, You wouldn't always know that there's something major happen other than, some of the quarantines and things that are happening. But I love the hard work I see of the teachers, and our parents have been very flexible through this challenging time. So that's been great too.
A lot of joy and happiness in our schools. We spent the entire summer digging into the standards, creating world-class educational leaders, our principals and assistant principals, investing in all of the professional development for our teachers to ensure when we opened our school doors, we were hitting the ground running. That's exactly what we did. You see great instruction taking place. Just kudos to our teachers who are bending over backwards, not only to continue to provide that quality instruction for the kids they have in their schools, but figuring out ways to get that same level of instruction as best they possibly can to those that are on quarantine. So the energy is high. We have clearly demonstrated in order to navigate such a difficult time, you have to do it together. So looking forward to the next couple of weeks as this thing continues to de-escalate, getting all of our kids back, no one being quarantined, and really just continue to move forward.
I've seen kids playing football. I've seen the band play. I think all those extracurricular activities that provide that connection to our campuses, the kids really appreciate. The student government, everyone, they're just happy to be back together, and they seem to really now have placed an increased value on those experiences as a big part of their education. And our teachers are just happy to be able to focus on teaching the kids in the classroom. The teaching that they did last year, where it was that synchronous learning, both kids at home and in front of them, was exhausting, so that no one really wants to go back to that.
I challenge our principals a couple of years ago is coming to school the best part of a student's day, and then is coming to your classroom as an individual teacher the best part of that student's day. And that's what we try to do in St. Lucie County. And I echo what the other superintendents have said. The kids are excited to be there. They want to be there. In fact, they get disappointed if they get that call to be quarantined because of what's happening in the school center. There's a social aspect of it, which many of them have missed, but then there's the core mission of teaching and learning. And then you try to have as normal as you can, even though there might be smaller numbers in some classes. Our students are engaged, our teachers are engaged, our teachers are going above and beyond, as all staff members are, and to be commended for that. But you try to keep it as normal as you can, keep the noise out. Football's out, like Mike said, volleyball, the fall sports, cross country. And so it's great to see the kids involved in that and the Friday night excitement, but also to see that excitement every day in the classrooms.
And I think it's really telling. You heard him say that the kids are disappointed when they find out they have to quarantine. Right. They want to be in school.
Yeah, they said last year was enough. Everybody was like, I was at home long enough. I'm ready to be in the classroom, and the educators are ready to welcome them with open arms and to get them going again. Again, that the learning slide has been a real issue.
Absolutely, and they want to make up that time, and they want to engage these kids, and the kids want to be there. So it's certainly a challenge trying to keep them there.
Well, exactly. It's a big year for families who have entered their second school year during the COVID-19 pandemic.
So we'll talk next about how our school leaders are staying flexible during another challenging year. Determined, dynamic, unpredictable, resilient, and inspiring. That's how these 5 superintendents have described the first 30 days of this school year.
And to navigate a challenging time, they say it will take everyone working together.
What do you say looking ahead now? What's the biggest concern looking ahead, and kind of what's on the horizon?
I think we're going to have to continue to be mindful. I'm always a dealer in hope, so I'm very hopeful that things are going to keep improving. But I think we just have to make sure that we stay positive and flexible and focus on those things that we can control. I do think it's a serious statewide issue to get a good handle on this quarantining. I know it's written in statute, but that's something that we need to really look at. I think every type of pandemic, maybe it was written for, or type of disease spread over the last several decades it was intended for. This is very different. And I think the more surgical we can be and careful to keep kids in school in the coming weeks, months, this year is going to be huge. So I'd like to see more effort at the state level on relief with this quarantine issue. On, if you're sick, of course you'd have to get home if you're showing symptoms, but such a large percentage are not, and staff working that have to get sent home. We have a big issue with substitutes, like I know my colleagues do as well. It's not that we don't have people signed up to do it. A large percentage say, we'll see you when this is over. A large number of our substitute employees are retired staff, and they're concerned. So, and we respect that. So we just have to get forward, move onward on this, and hopefully we'll get some relief from the state level.
Yeah, and for Indian River County, it's about being prepared for what will be the next variant that runs through. So as we are hopefully on the downside of this, we have to be vigilant and really evaluating what worked, what didn't work, really make decisions now when things or in the coming weeks when things are calm. So there isn't a question about when to mask or when not to mask or what the appropriate process is for quarantines. We just can't take our eye off the ball, and we just can't assume that we're done with this and this is passed. We really have to continue to be vigilant in the coming weeks to determine, what is a very clinical or surgical way of applying the appropriate mitigation strategies at particular schools when cases begin to rise or increase. So the community isn't just waiting for that other foot to drop about, okay, am I going to be quarantined? They know how the quarantine process is going to work. Am I going to be required to wear a mask or opt out, or what is that process? We need to be a little bit more clinical and drill down to school sites on implementing mitigation strategies when they are appropriate versus one countywide sweeping mandate that may not be appropriate in the overwhelming majority of schools. So there's still work to be done as we hopefully are on the downside of this variant.
Well, I'd just like to share, the Palm Beach County Historical Society gave me a beautiful frame picture, and it was students rushing back to class on the first day of school after the polio vaccine had been widely distributed, by Dr. Salk. And it kind of gives, I keep it up in my office now because it gives me hope that there is an end at some point to this COVID virus. And I think it's also a good reminder of the importance of vaccine. And we need to get our country, our community vaccinated. Hopefully at some point that'll be available to our students, of all ages, or at least 5 and older. And to me, that's the light at the end of the tunnel. We have to vaccinate our way out of this nightmare.
One of the things that we're all working on is our instructional continuity plans. And as you've heard, all of them talk about what the next steps are and, should another variant come along or even something else. I mean, the future's unpredictable. But as we look at our instructional continuity plan, to be able to build them with enough information that is transparent. So if A happens, then we do this. And if this happens, then we do X. And I think those are important tools for us. I think we've all talked about hope here this morning, and certainly when there is no hope, things get pretty bleak. But hope is not an effective strategy when you're talking about strategic planning or instructional continuity. So we all are hopeful that those things that we put into place in that instructional continuity plan will carry us forward, not only dealing with mitigation strategies that address whatever the specific virus or disease that happens to come along, but also the real meat of instruction, how to keep it going, how to address technology issues for all of our families and our students and access at home if need be. How are we going to ensure that we're serving those non-English speakers or our students with disabilities that are crying out for help, especially when they're quarantined and need that additional assistance that they don't get when they're not present in school. So I think those instructional continuity plans are key for us moving forward, that will provide us direction as to how to handle situations like this and hopefully narrow those instructional gaps that we see.
Yeah, and I guess I'll close it out, with the concerns. I think that one size doesn't fit all for the state. It doesn't fit all for our, surrounding counties. And we need to have as much flexibility as we can. One of the things that was taken away was our virtual, the virtual, we call it My School Online here, which would really be helpful right now for the students that are quarantined, even though we have resources that go home with them. It's not as effective, I don't think, as what we had last year, even though that created unique challenges. But for these children that are out for 5 or 10 days, We have the capacity to put a teacher in front of them on a screen temporarily, but we're unable to do that because we can't based upon the guidelines that we're given, or it won't be funded. So I think that flexibility needs to be in there as well, and that everybody here was very, very positive. Last year we said, all right, we came back, our teachers came back, our principals came back. I played the song, "Here Comes the Sun" from the Beatles. And if you look at the lyrics, it was perfect, and then all of a sudden, 3 weeks later, I called it the cloud. The sun got clouded by the COVID cloud. And the resiliency that we have in our school centers and how we're able to manage this, can't go unnoticed from the general public because the schools are safe. We're doing the best we can in them to teach these children that, the learning loss, to accelerate the learning as well. Our teachers are to be commended. Our staff members, our bus drivers, our custodians, food service workers, everybody has really stepped up to the plate, have been very courageous. They've been very committed. And we just can't lose our focus, no matter what the outside noise is, whether it's the virus itself or it's a political ideology from whatever side of the aisle someone sits on. We're going to remain focused on teaching and learning in St. Lucie County to do the best that we can for our students to make sure that we're meeting all of their academic needs and their social needs.
Focusing on teaching and learning. It's what educators everywhere are trying to do. Educating our children, certainly, we can all agree, is one of the most important jobs.
Absolutely. And one of the hardest right now, especially in these challenging first 30 days of the school year. And you heard them touch on it. They talked about the noise on the outside, and it's different from what's really happening inside those classrooms. There are teachers who just want to teach and students who want to learn and want to be there. And that's really their focus, is to try to keep them together there.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder that we can all pause, step back, and try to figure out a resolution together.
Yes.
Instead of kind of opposing each other at every turn. So good luck to all of the superintendents,
yes,
all of the staff in every school, the teachers for sure, and to the parents. It's not easy for the parents navigating this as well.
Absolutely, and we appreciate our superintendents taking the time to speak with us on these very important issues, shedding light on the first 30 days. We'll see what the next 30 days bring and see how things, we hope, continue that normal return and everyone's
Absolutely.
safe and healthy.
That would be nice.
All right.
Well, you'll find this WPTV News special streaming on your favorite device like Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Android TV, and Apple TV. So in case you missed any of it or would like someone else that you know to watch it, please check that out on your favorite streaming device. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Have a good night. News Channel 5 at 11 is next.